All right, family. Hey, this is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. Hey, we have some guests here today. That we have Phoenix Rain and we have Shantae White that are coming here to tell their story and want to clear maybe some rumors that are out there, as well as maybe some lies that were told on them or whatever it might be. But let me introduce Phoenix first of all. Hello, Phoenix. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. And we have over there is Shantae, which I can't see Shantae much, but are you one?
We're squeezing in here. We had to kind of find a corner because our place is being painted, so we're kind of stuffed over in a corner while the painter is doing the rest of the stuff. So yeah.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for doing this interview, because I think it's important that one, to kill the rumor mill, and to also bring some answers that might be able to help people out that might be either want to get involved in Gambia or this investment group that you are a part of. And I'm one that I like to bring clarity. I don't care who it is. I'm not so pro-black that if I see something foul going on, that I should not expose it or bring light to it. I don't know the story, but you are here, and I like to start off. The question is that maybe if you want to start who you are or how you got involved with this Invest Relocate Africa group, if you want to start there.
Sure, I can go through mine pretty quickly. People have heard it before. I shared my story on the Bag channel. I shared my story also on a video that came out today. So it's it's the same. I always had interest in coming to the continent, moving to the continent. Was, like a lot of people, very disgruntled with life in the States, and had a plan, or thought I had a plan, to relocate myself to the continent. And then COVID happened and the world shut down. And all of our businesses shut down and all of our streams of revenue shut down. And you live that way for a few months, several months, all going to the better part of a year on your savings. You end up with no funds. And so because I was following a lot of people around the repatriation movement and knew that there were a lot of people who were developing organizations to help people move to the continent, I thought, well, I have a great skill set. Maybe if I basically send a resume of myself to a few people, introduce myself, that maybe I can get someone to bring me on as part of their organization so that I can levy my skill set for value versus having actual dollars. And that's what I did. And I ended up intersecting with Kwesi Boyd and Invest Relocate Africa, that was then connected to Art Cathey and Art Cathey Heals.
Gotcha. Shantae, what about your story?
So 8 years ago, I studied abroad in Namibia, Africa. So I got a touch to the continent. So I knew that I wanted to move back. Couple of months ago, maybe like in May, we were supposed to travel to Ghana in the summer. Like Phoenix said, COVID happened. And a friend of mine, a college mate, she told me about the Gambia, and popped up Kwesi Boyd and Art Cathey in a YouTube feed. And I decided, what was proposed to me was a career path. I'm in education. So coming here, I can open a school. I can open up an after school program. I saw an opportunity to create businesses, to create economics for the country, and to live, in the motherland. So I got the opportunity and I invested, and it's been, it's all going to hell since.
So help us understand about the investment that you got yourself involved in, or what might have been explained about this investment, And apparently, once y'all got foot on the ground there, you found out that maybe things weren't the way that you were told before you came, or you started to see some things. Can you share that with us?
You have a question?
So, as far as the investing, like I said, he proposed a career path. So, having a place to live residentially and being able to work, it just seemed like, it wasn't rocket science for me. Now, what was proposed to us is that you can invest from 500 on up. A project costs $10,000, but you can invest as much as you want. I made the mistake of going all in because I knew what I wanted. And the pictures and things that were proposed to me, the conversations I had, I'm working behind the scenes, I'm talking to investors, because I thought that it was true until day one when I got off the airplane and went to one of the properties, and I'm like, this is not what you said. And I hadn't even seen the upstairs that's not furnished. I just saw the pictures that he was sharing with us online, but that's why I got on the airplane. But once the flights were open, I got on and I said, I'm going to check on my investments. And I've only been here, tomorrow will make 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I haven't even been here for 2 weeks. And it was horrible from day one.
Wow. And so Phoenix, so about yourself too. So I'm quite sure you invested some funds into the group, and basically the same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did invest some funds into the group as well, because I didn't want to just be like Shantae. I was actually the first person that the career path model was presented to, and I was able to start working through some things while I was still in the States before I came over. We both started working with the organization while we were still in the States. And so, but I saw the business model, I saw the potential opportunity, and I also saw the need, as any of us who are looking at moving to the continent, understanding that you have to have some revenue streams that will follow you when you come here, because you can't just come here and look for a job, because there aren't any really. And it takes a moment to establish a business, right? So the more that you can do to establish some revenue streams that will follow you when you arrive here, the better you will be. And this was also part of, the mantra that they talk about, like your business should be able to provide this amount of money for you. And so when they talk about the investment to people, who are primarily people looking to repatriate, the key word that they use is revenue stream, that you're also creating a revenue stream for yourself. So you make the investment fully expecting not to get rich off of it, but to have a reasonable revenue stream, so that it will add into your full existence, in your new life on the continent. But you quickly see when you arrive that there's no way to get that revenue stream. And it's not about whether the borders are closed or not. It's about the vast difference in what you've marketed and what exists in reality, and what expectations people have for their accommodation. When you sell them a certain thing, they expect that accommodation. You can't just expect them to touch ground and be like, oh, okay, well,
It's okay.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. I didn't actually need a shower anyway.
Yeah. So now it's as far as the legitimacy of this investment group, were the papers in place, like, was there legal papers that maybe you had to sign or to have attorneys kind of review, or was there, any forecastable perspectives of the company?
He talked about an attorney. He talked about an attorney. We never saw an attorney. He talked about an attorney. We never saw an attorney, although all of the investors did or were supposed to have signed a contract that also states that you could request your funds back at any time. And so prior to me making all of these public statements, there have been people who quietly were uncomfortable and requested their funds back per the contract, and none of them have received them.
As low as $500. You have over 70 investors. You can't return $500 because there's no money.
Now, did any of you all, while you were there, request to see any of the books or to see, you know, how does the company stand and its, have you? And what was shared with you?
There are spreadsheets that are created by Mr. Boyd that don't actually link into live accounts. None of us have actually seen an actual account or any actual accounting of funds. When we question something even as small as the quality of the internet in the property, and let's be clear, this isn't about, oh, the signal sometimes goes down in Africa. Yes, that happens, but there's still low speed internet and high speed internet, even here on the continent. And you've taken in enough money from people who've made it very clear that they already have established businesses that are dependent upon a high-speed internet signal. They're expecting it when they come to your property because you've promised it, and it does not exist. And when I pressed the issue, I was met with Ike Turner behavior.
Day one that I got here.
Wow.
And as far as the ledger, as far as like an accounting ledger, so I'm all about, after the big blow up when he, you know, on day one and the whole yelling at her and he kicked her out, and he comes and tells me, you know, Phoenix got to get the F out. And I'm like, wait, hold up. You know, you need to calm down. One, this woman that flew halfway across the world and you telling her she doesn't have anywhere to stay. She's an investor. This does not start with you. It's not one person. We have 70 investors. Day two was the meeting. And I'm asking about the budget. I'm asking about specific investor finances. And he's going from one room to the next, one room to the next. And then he comes show me this little notepad. You know, oh God.
A notepad that looks
that he has the students writing numbers down. That's not a ledger. You know, use QuickBooks. You know, it's just a lot of things. He was just doing so many things and showing people just enough because we wanted to get out of America so bad, just enough to hook, line, and sink 70 plus people.
And more now because he directed traffic and people are still sending him money.
It's really sad. Well,
you know, Phoenix, the video that you did, and both of y'all were showing the so-called motel from hell. Was this explained to y'all that this was something completed already? It was ready to go. It's ready for people to move in. How did that go? Because I'm sorry.
He told us when he did the investor update, he told us that construction was going on and it would be completed in 4 to 6 weeks. That's our investment property. That's what we invested in. Promised we would run that, but as we're finding out, he's promised everyone that they were gonna run.
Whoever shows up gets to run that.
There's no construction going on.
Money was going into that hotel there. That's what investor money is supposed to go into.
There are, by his own account, there are supposedly 5 properties, but none of these properties are owned or in a condition that someone traveling as far as you travel from the US expecting at minimum an Airbnb experience. And mind you, there are videos of him online clearly stating to people that he will be delivering a 5-star experience. Okay. Mm-hmm. It is not even the basic Airbnb experience. Now, like I said, I've been in the military. I've been to the field. I've slept in the dirt, in a sleeping bag, under a tree. I've been camping, all of those things. This sister just said she's been to the continent before. She's been to Namibia. We were not expecting. We're probably the two best people to test things to see if it's okay, because if it's off, we could take a whole lot.
We were willing to
Right.
be the guinea pigs.
We were willing to be the guinea pigs. And when I tell you it's a mess, and I'm like, you know, I can ride it out, but anybody coming behind us, this is not going to be acceptable, and it's going to be a problem. I started trying to manage the potential damage before he and I fell out. That's kind of why we fell out, because I had the audacity to hold him accountable for what he had us telling investors, what he had us telling people as we were talking to people on his behalf. He propped us up as ambassadors. So I know what the promises were. And now I'm here and I know what I'm looking at, and the two don't line up, and you can't account for the money. I've got a real good estimation of about how much money has come in. And based on what I know since I've been on the ground as to how much properties cost and what it costs to get things up to speed, there's no reason why the properties should not be ready, even if they still needed, you know, a couple of extra air conditioners or something like that. You made clear promises and you have some clear things on your website. This is what people are expecting when they send you their money, sir.
Yeah, the Ghana Town property could have been taken care of. The Ghana Town property is pretty much done, but 3 of the rooms upstairs, they're not furnished. They just have mattresses on the floor. You know, he with the investment money that came in, I mean, I'm not a construction person. I'm not saying I'm this savvy investor, but basic common sense is you finish one property before you move on to the next one. Get air conditioners. Get air conditioners in every room. Fix it up the way you're promoting. And then you go and buy a fixer-upper that is going to cost like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000
to rehab. And we're told that he's told the investors that he's secured even long-term leases on these properties. And we have come to understand that he only signed a 6-month lease on that property.
On an 8-minute?
Yes.
So out of the five supposed properties.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Say it again. What you just said.
And where was the investor's money?
So out of the 5 supposed properties that are there, how many are ready for those investors to come and to either stay at or manage?
Well,
where were you all standing? Where were y'all standing?
We've had 2 different experiences.
Yes.
So, okay. So I'm saying were y'all staying on one of the properties when you got there on the ground?
Phoenix was staying at Kwesi's property when she first got here. Well, the first night she stayed at Ghana Town.
First night I stayed at the Ghana Town property, and then the rest of the time I stayed at his property that he counts in the 5 properties that no one can stay at. It's a mess.
It's a trap house. I'll say it. It looks like a trap house. I mean, if you're paying,
no one's going to stay there.
No one's going to pay to stay there. It's like no one's going to pay to stay there.
So let me just run this down. As for these supposed 5 properties that he says that are part of the investor's portfolio, 2 are apartments. One of which Art Cathey lives in, and that no one can even go to. The other one is an apartment that we believe that maybe somebody else is in. I'm trying not to bring anybody else into this conversation. So that is unavailable. And then there is his property that is counted in this. And as she just said, it's a trap house. It's not, nobody can stay there. And then there is what's referred to as the Ghana Town property that is the best of the properties. And it looks real good in the pictures, but the living experience is very different. There's no air conditioning. It's hot as Hades. The kitchen is insufficient. It has, for that big property, it's 5 bedrooms. It has a apartment-sized refrigerator and an apartment-sized stove.
No, not even apartment size. That's a college.
Oh yes, a college refrigerator.
That's a college refrigerator.
Yes. And the little itty bitty stove. The water pressure is insufficient. The power there's no backup power. So the power goes out because it's Africa. The power goes out easily half the day, just about every day, which means the internet goes down. He's gotten the cheapest internet router there possible. So if somebody's playing the TV, it's a wrap that anything else is going to happen, because it's not. You're not even going to get a phone call out, which means you have no connectivity to anything. The entire upstairs has not been furnished. The fans that are in the rooms, there are some fans in the rooms, some of the rooms, but they are insufficient. And what I mean is, you know how you put a too small fan in a real big room? So you can turn the switch on and it does turn around, but it's a little bitty fan, so you're not actually going to get cool.
Yeah. Let me ask you this right here. Let me ask you this right here, because I know probably some of the say that again.
And I said, and the fifth property would be the one that I posted, the hotel, the so-called hotel property.
Clarify for me what a trap house is.
Where you from?
Well, no. I know what a trap house is.
So anybody that's in the Bankhead area, you know exactly what a trap house is.
Yeah, but I mean, I look at some of my audience are from Africa, from UK, and so can you clarify for them what is a trap house? Because you said
in the hood. Yes, it is. Okay, so let's just be a little more accurately descriptive. It is. There are a lot of people who live there.
Mm-hmm. Not the cleanest.
There is a well,
let me ask you
regular
this.
bug problem.
Let me ask you this right here. Yeah, because you rocking like okay. Let me ask you this question. It's been alleged now that there are some inappropriate drug use, maybe some inappropriate sex and things going on there that possibly the money is going towards. Have you personally seen these type of things there, or that's just a rumor?
No, it's not a rumor.
Okay.
So I've seen some of the sleight of hand, and I'm not talking about, if I can be clear, I'm not talking about anything in the color green.
Yeah. Okay.
Except for money.
And as far as
I said, except for money. The only thing that I am speaking about that is green is money. In terms of that question that you asked, I'm not speaking about anything green. And yes, I have seen some sleight of hand passing of things.
Okay. And Shante, you was gonna say?
What I've seen since I got here, I think I got here on the 6th. I left America on the 6th. I got here on the 7th. One of the things that really was concerning to me is the young women that's working for him that are not being paid or are being paid in relations that they don't want. It's just, these are young girls. These are impressionable girls, and he is pushing 50 years old. He understands exactly what he's doing. If someone, to withhold money from from an employer, because someone is sick in their family, and you just say you don't have it, but I see you transfer money that to someone that's not even affiliated with the organization. Someone that you told me has left the organization, they don't want their name or anything, but he's not taking care of he's not taking care of his employees. I'm getting a little off topic, but
he called the people that live in his house his students. And as I said on a prior video, they're not students.
He's using people, he's dealing with some mind control tactics, and like I said, these young people, they're not only are they at an impressionable age, but they're coming from destitute backgrounds, right? And
the families need money.
Country. And then you plan on they're calling their family members, and he knows the culture. Like, that's demonic behavior. You know, you cannot sit there and play with people's minds and play with their money. And because these people here, our Gambian brothers and sisters, you know, it's called the Smiling Coast for a reason. Mm-hmm. You know, they are so welcoming and so loving, and they're loyal and loyal to a fault, because he doesn't deserve that loyalty.
Yeah.
You know, things on social media, and he does it in the workers' names. And I'm a firm believer that he's doing that for legal purposes. So he can push things off on other people when the ish hits the fan. Yeah, I didn't write that. But
yeah, and I have now that, you know, probably what should have been done. As I said, we all got caught up in the hype. We all, because we really want to leave the States, and we really want to come, you know, to the continent, and we want to be a part of something bigger and better. We want this. So yeah, I'll be the first to say, mud on my face. We overlooked a lot of things. Yeah. But now having to go back and dig, this is not a first occurrence. There are a lot of discrepancies. He's put a lot of things in other people's names. This is kind of a habitual thing for him. We are finding past records in multiple states. We are finding a lot of things that are not as they should be. And so I have always maintained, and want to make it clear here too, that this is not about a beef. This is not about a social media beef. No. This is not about a YouTube battle. No. This is not us seeking clout. I don't actually care whether any more people follow me. You can shut down my YouTube channel tomorrow, and I'm still going to be on whatever medium possible saying the same thing, because this is about taking people's funds. These are US dollars and US citizens. Yeah. And you have taken people's dollars and you have presented a certain thing, and that is not what it is. And you refuse to open the books. You've tried to malign our names. You've said things about us. You've called my daughter ugly names. You can call me all the names you want to. Yep. I'll be the first one to say, yep, got me. Call me whatever you want. And still open the books and show these people where their money is, because what you have done amounts to international wire fraud. He has transacted funds, even wired the account that he's had people wire funds to. I've just recently learned that it is backed by a closed business, which in the United States is illegal to continue to use a bank account from a closed LLC. So this is not we had an argument, we had a falling out, and we gonna make up and kumbaya. No. He's gonna go to jail. People lost a lot of money. You know, I met a sister here. She's been here for what, 3 months? Mm-hmm. 3 months. She's been in apartment. She met with us. She connected with Phoenix, and she showed us some apartments. But we had lunch one day, and she was so happy, and she's crying because she has been in this apartment for 3 months. She was connected with him through another organization, an organization that he was with before, Invest Relocate Africa. From what I see, he stole her. But she invested $8,000. This is her savings. Her savings. No one was there to pick her up from the airport. Stranded at the airport. She had to find her own way in a different country. And I mean, I commend her. Because I think I would have been looking for him. Me personally, I would have been looking for him, but he has destroyed lives.
Yeah. Let me ask you, because, you know, speaking of Art Cathey, who claims to be this business owner, part affiliate of this group here, she came out with her video just the other day. And, you know, to me, it sounded as though she put a lot of the blame on Kwesi. And to my surprise, me and my wife's surprise, she has yet to even go out to meet you all, who she's on video.
Well, first of all, we don't want to meet her. Yeah, we
Well, I
don't
understand.
she's not met any person. She's not met any person that has come here that came as a part of her groups, investors, potential
And
investors.
I find that very surprising that you're a hostess or hosting people to come into a country far away and you cannot even find it in your heart to go greet them and welcome them. That's eye opener to me. And I thought that when after her little video she posted, and she wanted to put the blame on Kwesi and make it seem as though that she was been, doing the behind the scenes things, and all these things are a surprise to her. Excuse me?
She is.
Yeah. So I mean, what are your thoughts on that as far as that you haven't met the woman, and she is probably one of the reasons why people are going to Gambia, because she's the one doing a lot of the videos and promoting it. What are your thoughts on that? And have you ever spoken to her, being that you haven't seen her?
She's spoken at me, and that wasn't favorable. Because again, as I said, I came on through Invest Relocate Africa. So by the time I encountered her at all, I was already working with Invest Relocate Africa. So I got involved in her groups and stuff, and the repat groups and stuff, on specifically through her, because I was working with Invest Relocate Africa, and I was told that she was a product that we handled. There were people that were coming through. And so let's talk about all of the investor threads that were set up when you invest that. There was a system of cultures came through. They all came through Art Cathey. And then all of them got a notice that Invest Relocate Africa was the parent company. Some said Invest Relocate Africa was the parent company for Art Cathey Heals. Some said Invest Relocate Africa is the manages Art Cathey Heals. That was the language of the two. And so on behalf of investors who would have questions about some of the things that she would post and that sort of thing, I would sometimes be in and out of her group to get answers for the people that we were serving. I made the mistake of commenting, and I can't make it up this good, of commenting one word too many on a post, and I received a nasty voicemail via Facebook Messenger and tongue lashing about how nobody was above the rules, and I'm nice to have you, sis. That whole, I got all of that over the phone. And so I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And so I just kind of pulled away, never rejoined her groups, and just focused on Invest Relocate Africa.
Which we said we would be, we were told that we would be safe because that was the money side of everything. Right. We would be safe with our career path. If she went wherever she went, we would still be safe. But day 3 or day 4 for me, I found out that evidently this is all about her. My thing was, we needed somewhere to work. We needed stable internet. So he was going to give us the 2-bedroom apartment because we had people coming in. So I'm just trying to, I can be inconvenienced. I'm thinking about the people that's coming behind us. Because like Phoenix said, people were just waiting to see people get on the airplane. Phoenix is here to stay. I was only supposed to be here until November 12th. I'm extending my stay until January because of this nonsense. So we were supposed to get the 2-bedroom apartment. He showed us the 2-bedroom apartment. And then the next day he calls and he says, well, Art is back in. The day before she was out. My life, and this is what I told him. I'm not going to keep changing my life based on her. And he went from 0 to 100. Well, no one would be here if it wasn't for Art, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's Art Cathey Heals. But I invested 5 figures. So I told him, let's not act like I didn't invest anything. Let's not act like my investment or I'm not crap. And then he's like, I got to get you away from me. I got to get Phoenix away from me. That's fine. But we still need to talk about these investments. And he won't say anything to me. He will not say anything to me, which is fine because he's talking, real sarcastically and being nasty with everybody else. But He put it out there. Shantae's the largest contributor. I'm a private person. What if I don't want people to know about my finances? And I had to check him with that. But you put it out there and then you act like I'm not supposed to have somewhere to stay, that this is all about art. A movement is not about one person. So that was the last time I talked to him. And I think that was day 4. It has been a shit show, excuse my French, since I got off the airplane. I have got off the airplane and stepped into a soap opera. Yep.
So besides your YouTube and the other lady that's been there for 3 months, are there other investors that are there as well? How many people are actually there?
No, not here. We were the first wave. That young lady came, or that, oh, I call her young lady, but yeah, we're all young ladies. She's grown. But that sister came a few months prior to us, but she wasn't ever, she was just supposed to be an investor. She was never proposed to be part of the career path. I don't even know if that brain thing was developed when she got involved as an investor. So she came, she was the first person to arrive. Her and I think maybe 2 other ladies that we've met. And then they quietly kind of left, and because they weren't getting response, they just got the shutout. They completely got shut out. None of their calls were getting answered. Literally, she got stranded at the airport, so she didn't even know where to go to find this person. And then we were the 2 that actually came. I was the first person that was supposed to test this model of the career path. And so I arrived to be boots on the ground to help get everything up and running, with the expectation that there was going to be a wave of people, because I knew how many people we had spoken to and how many people were already booking their return here. And so we were supposed to be part of a small core of what he called his executive team to come in and make sure all the T's were crossed and all the I's were dotted, to be ready for the influx of other investors that were surely coming once all of the COVID restrictions and all of that stuff were lifted. Except that we got here, and the first reaction upon seeing the state of things was, oh.
And he kept talking about a budget. That was the whole thing that he started the argument with Phoenix. Oh, I know what I'm doing. There's a budget. So when he said that there was a budget the next day when we had the meeting, I said, okay, so let's talk about the budget. So the rooms need to be done. This needs to be done. And that's when he says we're on a cash basis. And I'm like, yeah, what is that? Oh, well, we're based the bookings. As the bookings come in, we're going to fix things. So as the bookings come in, we're going to buy an air together. That's not how you do business.
And what happened to the budget that was supposed to be created to bring the properties up to speed based on the investment that you already solicited from people?
Because it is separate.
I gotta get a cord.
Okay. It is on the contract. It does say a certain percentage is going to go to construction, and a certain percentage is going to go to other avenues. I think it was like 80-20 or 70-30 or something like that.
When did this investment group begin? When did it originate? How long has it been? How long has this
I'm
investment
not sure
been?
how long. I came in, I found out about this in like June, and then I invested in July.
This year?
I decided, yes, because I had decided not to. This was my college fund. This was money for me to go to get my master's in special education. But I was like, I have enough education. I can go and open a preschool. So I was all in. I'm like, why give, all this money to an institution when I know I'm not staying in America? And I talked to him about that. That's the thing, to talk to someone and for him to know that he's thinking about the long haul con game. He will say anything to get your money. And that's why we have to speak out about it, because like I lost my money, but it hasn't really been lost. It's just detour, because I'm a natural businesswoman. So me and Phoenix are still going to do the same thing, because we can't allow these investors, these people that, look up to us, and book their flights based on seeing us online and coming here. We want to make sure that they are good, because the model is perfect. It's just the director was the devil. Yeah.
Now I know that Kwesi had talked about in one of these, and maybe I should wait for Phoenix to return. But he had mentioned something about the relationship with the Americans there are not as good with the locals or something. How do you have anything to say about that?
From my point of view, Phoenix is in here. She's just charging. From my point of view, the only people that the locals are having issues with is Kwesi Boyd and Art Cathey, because they are coming here treating our brothers and sisters like they're the colonizers, from sex slavery to just abuse. Art is disgusting. None of the team member, she is disgusting. She talks down to people, and why? But online, you're talking about this unity. So when I come here and I'm a people person, and I'm talking to the girls and I see how sad they are. And then the week that we're here, they're smiling. They're just a different person. But then when they open up, when the team members open up and talk to us and tell us the abuse that they have been going through, the wages, I said, is Kwesi paying you? He said, those are not wages. And to be honest, I'm paying his staff.
Yeah.
I'm paying his staff.
He's used the investors' money.
And out of my pocket, I'm literally paying the staff, because I can't. Right. How can I be here and see what he's doing to our people, to our brothers and sisters?
Well, I know.
So yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry, I had to get our charge cord to make sure that we didn't lose power. But
let me say this real quick right here, Phoenix, because I know there might be some people that might respond to that. But when it comes to investment, we do know investment money do take care of staff and expenses and
so okay. I cut off a little bit, but I'm guessing that you're asking about part of the investment being.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Hello?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And so let me address that. Again, there should be, if you are, and this was also one of the early red flags, because the investors are given, this was one of the early red flags in terms of, hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear us? Is this charging? Yes. Yeah, it's plugged
Can you
up.
hear us?
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, there's a delay. Yeah, I hear you.
You can't hear.
Are you able to hear us?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
This is still good. Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
No, he can't hear us.
The sound may have gone out.
Yeah.
Oh, you hear us? Okay. If there is a full accounting of expenses, one of the early red flags for me is that none of the investment accounts fluctuated, right? And so if you've made an investment and there are expenses being drawn from that account should show some fluctuation. But it never showed any fluctuation because it never was based on any real dollars. He took the dollars. He does call them staff, but they're not actually staff. There's a lifestyle that's happening here, and you're using the investors' money to fund your lifestyle, which is a very different thing. Even if you are doing something a proper way, you would give yourself a salary And then you can have whatever lifestyle you want, and you fund that lifestyle off of your salary, but you are still beholden to your investors to show where the dollars go. You can't just be passing out money to people and saying you're paying staff and there's no accounting of it, especially when you have people expecting to be in a property that is supposed to be taken care of. So you have all of your expenses, you show your expenses, you show your expenses for staff and what their role is in managing those properties or taking care of those properties. And then you show your intake and revenue. This is basic math. It's not rocket science. So when you see that the numbers aren't changing, he continues, any of the investors can tell you what the investment account looked like when they first got it is exactly what it'll look like today if they look at the link, because it's not linked into any actual account that is showing transactions for anything.
Now, you know, he had made an accusation against you about you putting your hands into an account and that you owed him some money. What do you have to say about that? Can y'all hear me?
Yes. Yes, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did y'all hear my question to Phoenix?
No.
Yeah, I was saying that he had made some accusations against you, Phoenix, about you putting your hand in an account and stealing some money, and you responded about that you didn't or whatever. What was the deal with that? Did you have access to money?
So, yes, I did. I am the person who set up his payment portals and payment accounts. There was a point for the people that were involved with him for some time. He was only ever able to take money and be able to pay through the website so that they could go to the website, click and pay. Okay. And so I'm the person who set up those payment portals, who made those payment accounts be able to work. And because I acted as the resident agent, that I had my name on some of those accounts. They were filed as business accounts with the Real Estate Art Cathey LLC, of which I was a small percentage partner and acted as the resident agent in those filings. And so I set up all of the payment portals so that he could accept payments on the website and the back end of accounts via Cashapp and PayPal so that those funds could dump into those accounts. Those accounts, because I was the resident agent and set up the business filings, they had my name on them. If anybody was to check those accounts, they would see that they have my old address in Maryland on them. So I believe in full disclosure. Shantae and I were sitting on the beach here in the Gambia after having already had questionable conversations with Kwesi about where the investment's money was going, and he had kicked us out and all of these things. And then we see an investor, because I have access to these transactions because I set them up. We see an investor's money come in, and immediately he accesses the account and sends the money over to Art Cathey for some unspecified reason, after she had already made it clear a week prior that she was no longer part of the business. She did not want to be business partners with him, that she did not want anybody using her name on anything or even using a hashtag. So those people that followed my channel when I first started it, they saw that I had hashtags in there that were for the organization and for Art Cathey, Art Cathey Heals, all of these things. And then there was a abrupt taking down of all of those links and all of those hashtags. I never said a word about it. I just took them all down because he told us that and I saw the messages that she sent to him via his phone. He said, see, this is what I'm dealing with. And I read the messages where she didn't want to be a partner anymore. She said she wasn't in a good mental state to be a business partner, and told him that she didn't want her name used on anything. He demanded that all of us take everything that had Art Cathey on it off. And then we saw this transaction go through and him send the money to Art Cathey. And so I contacted the consultant that we're now working with and asked him what I should do. And he told me to lock the accounts. I locked the accounts, and the accounts have not been touched. The same $93 that he left in there is what's in that account. I haven't touched a dime. I haven't spent any money. And I've set the accounts right there so that when we actually do have an official and legal audit, that I can open those accounts and show them.
Nice, nice. And so there were other accounts beside that one account, right?
Yes, there were other accounts, and please forgive us. These we are actually dealing with this stuff real time, so we're still getting phone calls and messages and all of this stuff and putting out fires as we speak. But yes, there was a lot of money that was transacted, not just through the accounts that I handled. There was money that came in directly through Kwesi Boyd's Yahoo account. There was money that came in directly through his Yahoo account. There was money that actually came in that people wired from their bank directly to his Bank of America account that I since have learned was set up with a closed business. There were people that sent money through Zelle from their bank account. So it's a lot of money, and I didn't handle it all, but I did handle some of it.
Okay. So you only seen a portion of the money that they have there. Did you hear me?
Right, but I talked to all of the investors. Shantae and I were, yes, but Shantae and I were very actively involved in talking to investors, and before we got kicked out of the threads, we were involved in all of the investor threads. He handles all of the communication with investors through Facebook Messenger threads. We were all in those Facebook Messenger threads.
It looks like you froze up. Let's just give it a minute. Maybe she'll call back in or what have you. But people, let me tell y'all that we got to be careful who we send our money to. This is what some people have been saying, that if you are wanting to purchase land or do a business deal over in Africa, hopefully we can get her to call back. You got to be careful who you put your money towards, you know. And I'm going to say this right here because I've heard it time and time again. You know, young folks, even some older folks, because, you know, they seem like they're probably in their 40s, but do the background check on an individual. I'm seeing now that people are starting to talk about investment groups that are going over to Africa. I just heard a young man in his 20s talking about investment. Hold 1 second, we got you back.
Yeah, I'm sorry, our signal is going in and out. It's that time of day. It's getting a little bit crazy over here, so.
Yeah. Okay, so I was saying that, so it seems as though that you didn't have access to all the accounts, but there was some money that was going in other accounts that you knew that were going in, and yet, and he was using it for whatever reason.
Yes.
Okay. So
that's correct.
Let me ask you this, right? Okay, let me ask you this right here, because now you said Art Cathey is in and out, but she was out for 1 minute, then she's back in it, and you said that you never had a chance to actually personally meet her. You only took a tongue lashing from her from a message that you sent out there. You said that I'm trying to recap on this right here. You also said that there's about 4 of you women that are there. That's part of the group. And nobody.
Yeah, there are 2. Yeah, there were 2 that came prior to Shantae and I, and then she and I are here. And no, I honestly am the first person that was more than a guest, if you will, and worked closely enough with the organization and helped set things up that I was able to not only see, but have some proof behind something was wrong. They saw that things were wrong, but they said, if I tell anybody, they're gonna, you know how their following is, they're gonna give me the beat down and nobody will believe me because I don't really have any proof.
Yeah.
You know, there were 2 brothers that came over here prior to us individually, and people have kind of called them into question a little bit. And I should just say that that's a little bit unfair because the art of illusion is something that both Kwesi and Art are very, very good at. And so they made it look like those brothers were hanging with them the whole time they were here, and that's not actually true. They saw them when they came in, they did the little photo op that they like to do, and then those brothers went on their way to their respective places, hanging on about their own life and all of that stuff, and then kind of took another photo op just as they departed. So they weren't really in the thick of it like I was in the thick of it. And so they too, like other people, kind of felt like some stuff off, but they didn't really have anything to base it on or anything to, it was just something don't feel quite right, but I don't know, and that ain't my business. So, you know, not to necessarily fault them, I can't say that they did anything, you know, wrong, because when you're talking about these sorts of things that are such serious allegations, such serious accusations, if you're going to go public with that sort of thing, you better have some means to back up what you're saying. And so most people that have been, the few people that have been here weren't able to. I happen to be the first person to, sorry to say it, know where the bodies were buried.
You know, it's so interesting because, you know, I remember a couple of the videos that Kwesi had uploaded out there. Me and my wife was watching it, and we took notice of you. And I said to my wife, Phoenix is not the same. She's not that same woman that we saw on the bag. You had this little different look, like almost like I knew something was going to probably come out, and this is what we find out. And because you was a different personality than when you were sitting with Kwesi, explaining some of the things they were doing, and it seemed that you had some firsthand information that you, or suspicions of some things going on. You were like, and now all of a sudden it comes to pass that you're seeing what's actually going on.
And quite frankly, anger was not my first emotion. Heartbreak was my first emotion. Shock was my first emotion. You know, I have vacillated between all of those things: heartbreak, shock, and anger on a daily basis since I arrived. And let's also say that Shantae says she's been here 2 weeks. We came 1 week apart. I've only been here 3 weeks. Tomorrow will actually be my 3-week anniversary of landing in the Gambia. So if I didn't have firsthand information, why would I be making this amount of noise about these sorts of serious things had I not immediately stepped into a pool of crap and knew that there was some doo-doo on my shoe and I wasn't about to track it back in the house.
You know, I'm thankful that
it's an ugly situation. We, this sister and I, are doing our best to navigate it and to try, because we were used as ambassadors. There's a delay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a delay. Let me say this right here. I was alluding to, I'm thankful that you two are have met each other and are supporting each other during this time. There is nothing worse than to be in a strange country by yourself and would not. I've been there in a strange country by myself and have had some situations happen where you can almost like start to panic because you don't know to turn left or right or what have you. Mm-hmm. And I'm thankful that you all are connected together, and you all and you, Shantae, said you're going to extend your stay till January. See, that's genuine. Yeah. That's real people, you know, because I know how it could feel to be stranded in a country. My daughter, she got stranded over in Paris, and I'm telling you, she had a panic attack and she just went berserk. And at least there are two, and that you all can go ahead and grab hold of each other and support each other during this time. But let me ask you, because I'm quite sure people want to know, what's going to happen with Phoenix and Shantae during this time? Are you going to still stay there, Phoenix? And I know, Shantae, you said you're going to head back, but what happens with you all next?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm staying. Despite the mess, I have found the Gambia to be a wonderful experience. It's very different. Yes, there's a lot of things that need to be improved. There are a lot of things that are not what we're used to, but I don't necessarily count all those things bad. Sure, the roads need to be better. And we could definitely do something to help raise our voices and, to help the local communities, demand that, the government or whatever the appropriate agencies are, help develop some of the infrastructure here so that, people can drive and walk down the street. The rainy season, it is crap. It's a bunch of water. God bless the taxi drivers here, because I have not seen nothing like it. The way they go drive through these roads with these puddles and all of this stuff, it's nothing short of amazing. But even with those differences, unlike people who want to just focus on the bad, the ugly, this and all of that, I want to focus on, it's the smiling coast. People here have beautiful smiles. I'm envious of their smiles. They are gracious, and if you have a humble personality, they welcome you. Even amongst the diaspora community that's here, there are people from the US, there are people from the UK. Contrary to popular belief, what's actually happening here on the ground is that most people are getting along. Yeah, except them two. Mm-hmm. Mm. And I didn't want to come here and be part of some crew that is, we don't like them. We don't like them. We don't like them. No. Actually, almost everybody here gets along. It's one of the most tolerant places that you would ever want to be. Mm. There are people of different faiths living here. There are people of different economic stature here living here. Yes, there's a lot of poverty, but even in that poverty, people are kind. People are gentle. We saw a vehicle get stuck in the mud and people just standing around started pushing to get it out. And that don't happen in the States.
Yeah, it don't. They don't.
They just help. They just help
Yeah.
you. I feel almost inadequate sometimes, guilty of accepting the way the people are so willing to serve you. And I'm like, don't serve me. I'm no different than you. I don't have no elitist, right? But I'm also understanding that to some level, to not allow people that really truly want to assist you, to not allow them to assist you, is also a bit of an offense, because they do that from their heart. There's honor in doing that. There's great pride and great honor in the small things here. And so I'm learning to appreciate even on a different level, to say yes, thank you, and allow some people to do things for me that I normally would just be like, I don't need that. I don't need that.
Yeah.
No, I could do that myself.
Yeah.
But because there's such pride and honor taken in certain things, I'm learning to appreciate and just say, you know what? Okay, thank you. I'll accept that. Thank you very much. And I show appreciation even in a higher way. I thought I was a gracious person already, but these people are teaching me a whole nother level of humility and gratitude with a smile. We think we know something in the US about service with a smile. We don't know shit.
We don't. We don't. I did a video.
You want to know about service? Come to the Gambia.
Yeah. I did a video of, African Americans need to sit down, be quiet, and learn from the African when we're over there in the continent. And, and you just said that. Every time I go, I'm telling you, when I sit at the feet of the teachers, I'm blown away, and I realize I don't know much of anything. When you're talking about familyhood and moral fiber, and you're talking about, beautiful relationships, that's one of the issues I think that Africa has suffered over all these years, is that our kindness and love gets us in trouble. We will open up the gates to everybody and welcome everybody, and yet people
we're welcoming
to use us and abuse us. It's just how we are as a people. We are loving, kind people. It's just that here in America, or maybe in the Western of Europe, whatever, we've taken on these Europeans' mindset. We've brought on this selfish behavior. We brought on this disrespect for others and the elders. We've brought on this whole thing about, a disregard for family network. This is what we've become. Yeah. And then when you go to Africa, the first thing you want to hear, some people like those are saying, want to dog people out and look down upon them and act like they're like lesser human beings. And I've watched, when I watch y'all step foot on Gambia, and I always ask this question to myself: how long will their spirits survive around a toxic spirit like our sister? Because it'll only be a time till the friction begins to happen, and there must become a separation. Yeah. So, I don't want to hold y'all up, because I know y'all have other things you have to do, but I'm gonna leave the floor to y'all. If you have anything you want to share with those who might be interested in doing or they might be involved in other investments, or any precautionary advice or lessons learned that you want to share with people, I would like to hear the last words from you all before we go ahead and thank y'all for coming on. And to share your story.
Yeah, just ask someone to show you proof. See legal documents. Come see for yourself. I don't regret coming here the way I did. I'm military, as I said. I've moved places before, sight unseen. So for me, that's not an odd thing. But I wouldn't necessarily advise people to just come sight unseen like I did. If you have an opportunity to come first, then come first. But I would also tell people, don't not come because we had this bad experience, because we actually are having a very beautiful experience in the middle of this.
We are.
Yeah, me and my sister are going through some things together, and we're having an amazing time.
Like Phoenix said, it's still going to be home for me too. I have to go back because I came for a visit. But I'm going back to sell. Everything must go, and I'm coming back here. one of the things you said, how you broke down, you know, how African Americans are in America. One of the things I always say is, for me, I'm coming back to Africa for healing, you know, to rid myself of the white supremacy society, everything that they have broken our Black man, Black woman, Black child, bang. Shout out everything that have broken down, you know, in our family system, because I can't stand a man, but what he said was, in America, Americans, we have everything, but we have no soul. Africans, they have nothing, but they have a soul. And the people like ourselves, Africans in the West, coming back here is about so much more, right? With our ancestors, it is so much more than just seeing this beautiful place and seeing our beautiful brothers and sisters every day, which is amazing. But it's so healing for us because we have been through so much trauma. We need love. We need to be loved properly by our brothers and sisters. But one thing I could say is, anyone that gets on that airplane to come here, leave that privileged American society behind, because we don't want that here.
And we don't want to be the oppressors here. We don't want to be the oppressors here. We don't want to look down on anybody. We don't want to look down on our brothers and sisters and think that we are better than them, or we're somehow smarter or innately.
They get that enough from the colonizers and everyone else that's here. They don't need to get that from our people that look like. We can heal their economy. People that are the poorest of the poor in America, they come here. We can still heal their economy with basic high school education. You know, we can heal them and they can heal us if we give each a chance.
Yes. Yeah. Beautifully said, ladies. I definitely appreciate both of you all. We definitely wish you both the best. Definitely, we know that our Creator is watching over you all, and so I'm just waiting to hear great things from both of you all, especially Phoenix. I know you have a YouTube channel. Shantae, do you have a YouTube channel or anything that people can contact you?
I do. It's Travel with Tay Tay, Taytay. You can see how the countries I've been to and what's going on here.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, definitely thank you again, and wish you all the best, and hopefully we all can stay in touch.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Hey, you too. Take care now. Much love to both of y'all. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and that was our sisters that are there who wanted to tell their side of the story of what's going on there in the Gambia between Art Cathey and also Brother Kwesi. And I wanted to at least afford you all to hear their side, because I have to take a responsibility of putting information out there and also getting the side of the story. Now, I've requested an interview with Brother Kwesi yesterday that we were supposed to meet, and it was that I got his message probably an hour later after that, because I was out and about. I try to reach back with him again. I haven't heard anything from him. So I just want you all to know that who might have an interest in going to Africa, just because of this situation doesn't mean that's the totality of Africa, but this is just something that is going on in a small region or a small town or country with just a couple of people. Africa is a beautiful place, and you will find the good, the bad, and ugly and everywhere you go. And so I'm thankful that I was able to have our guest here today on the show so that you can hear their side, you know, and it's not about, you know, who's right or wrong. It's about how do you take the information and see, do you understand? Because I have learned in the last 5 years to get away from agreeing and disagreeing, because agreement is only when you, by the information you have, will go ahead and make a side with an individual, or a disagreement is the information you don't have or don't understand. So my thing is that I can get to a place to understand. This is how they feel. This is how they see. This is how they might, their perceptions are, and it's their truth. Now, the question is that if you're going to make a move and being involved in this group, that you now have just one side of the story of information before you make that commitment. you have something at least to go off of. And I will tell you that being a man who has invested over the years, I've taken risks. You know, I've taken risks of tens of thousands of dollars with investment companies. And you know what? I've lost some money just like that. You know, have I ever been scammed over my life? Yes, I have, you know, but it's all about, can we do our homework, do our due diligence before we get involved with different type of groups, especially investments. When you're talking about over the water overseas, with people who don't even have the qualifications or may not even have the experience in doing such type of business transactions and all. And so I thank each and every one of you all for watching this channel. I am looking at having even more interviews with people on topics that are concerning Africa, as well as brothers and sisters here in America. Get ready to go ahead and look for my travels here in another week and a half. I will be going live quite often while I'm in Ghana, Rwanda, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. So I am excited to go ahead and put forth the information for you to give you just a taste of Africa. And so also, please like, subscribe, hit the bell button so you will get the notification that I have just uploaded information that you can have quick access to and be able to utilize that information for yourself. So with that, I bless each and every one of you all with kind words and love. And like you already know, this is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa.